Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just chilling in this hammock on Mae Nam Beach on a beautiful sunny day here in Koh Samui. And I figured I'd make another video just sharing some of the challenges of getting my work permit over here in Thailand. So, a little bit of backstory. I arrived in Phuket, Thailand in January 2020, right before the situation, right? And I just decided to stay over here rather than go back to get stuck back into the rat race in the United States. Didn't really appeal to me. And I ended up basically getting stuck in Thailand for an extended period of time because the borders were closed everywhere. So I wasn't able to go and continue my travels, to Vietnam, Philippines, those sorts of places. I just stayed in Thailand and I kept extending my tourist visa for almost 2 years, believe it or not, because immigration and the government was allowing you to get COVID extensions 60 days at a time. So I just kept going back to immigration as many times as possible while this edict was in place, and it worked out to be about $1 per day to stay in this beautiful country and live in Koh Samui, right? So for me, that was a total no-brainer. Rather than going back to the US and just being miserable with my life, I decided to stay here. And eventually I was able to convert my tourist visa over to a smart visa for a startup that I was launching in the property tech space, specifically doing virtual tours for hotels, resorts, and villas, mostly here in Samui. So I got that visa approved. It took a couple different tries. I got rejected twice. I've actually made another video about it, which you can watch somewhere up here if you want to. Just kind of going through the process of applying for your smart visa. I think this is a really good option for anyone that wants to invest in Thailand, wants to start a business over here. So I was on my smart visa for about 6 months for the startup that I was launching. And eventually I was able to get in touch with someone at a company called Panomatics, which has been doing what I was essentially doing at my startup, but for a much longer period of time. They've been in business, 15 plus years, and they're very successful at the virtual tour business, right? So I decided, rather than continuing to build this startup, looking for investors, trying to find clients, going into hotels, asking to speak with the GM or the marketing manager, it didn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because it's really difficult to launch a startup, especially in a foreign country, as you can well imagine. I would think it would be probably a lot easier back in the States where I have my citizenship. But I decided to take a much harder approach and try to launch a startup in a foreign country over here in Thailand, which maybe wasn't the smartest decision, but I've learned a lot throughout that process. I've had to overcome a lot of challenges. So I ended up just canceling the smart visa. I had to go back to the BOI, Board of Investment office in Bangkok to do that. So basically just bought a ticket from Samui to Bangkok, got it taken care of, stayed a couple nights in Bangkok, and then decided to fly down to an island called Penang in Malaysia because I had to do a visa run in order to leave the country and then switch over to this non-B visa, as it's called. So I did that, flew down to Penang. This was the first time I'd left Thailand in over 3 years, I would say. So I've been over here for a long time now, and I'm a wealth of information if anyone has any questions whatsoever related to, living over here, making a home base in Thailand. Don't hesitate to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer any questions you may have. So yeah, I went down to Penang, booked the plane ticket, just decided to go down there because the flight was relatively cheap and it's not too far away from Surat Thani, which is on the mainland, very close to Koh Samui, so I figured I could just take a shuttle back up. I didn't really have to fly, I'd just take the shuttle and make an adventure of it getting back to Thailand, right? So that's exactly what I did. It took about 5 days in Penang. Luckily, it wasn't too difficult to go through the immigration process there. They had a Royal Thai consulate in Penang, which I was able to go to with my business partner. So I at least had somebody else there who also worked for the company kind of pushing for me. And all of the paperwork was taken care of through the company that I work for, so I didn't have to deal with a lot of, hassles getting all the paperwork in order and all that stuff. There was one girl at the Royal Thai Embassy in Penang. She had tried to get her work permit, I want to say 3 or 4 times, had made multiple trips down to Malaysia, and she tried one more time and she didn't sign one of the pieces of paper, so they turned her away for like a 4th time, and she started crying. I felt really, really bad for her, right? So it's not necessarily easy to get your work permit, and you, like I say, you do need to get this non-B visa first, and that will often involve doing a visa run down to another country, let's say Malaysia, Cambodia. A lot of people go to Kuala Lumpur as well, which is the capital of Malaysia. That's also a really good option. But essentially, once I got that non-B visa, that was good for 3 months. It was a single entry back to Thailand, so I did a land border run back into Thailand. They stamped the visa, so now it's no longer valid anymore. It's just a single entry permit, essentially. So then I was back in Thailand, stayed one night in Hat Yai, which is close to the border between Malaysia and Thailand. Popular place to stay when you're doing visa runs. And then I just made my way back to Koh Samui, took the ferry across to the island, and after that 3-month visa expired, I then had to go back to Bangkok again and switch it over to the official work permit. This video is basically just to encourage you that, if you want to make something happen and you have the dream of, staying in a country long term, you can do it, right? There's nothing really preventing you other than yourself. And often you're going to have to overcome a lot of challenges and pitfalls along the way, but as long as you keep going and you're resourceful and you're committed and dedicated to make it happen, you will. Just like I have. That's how I've been over here for, 3+ years. I just went to immigration to do my 90-day report, which is usually required if you're on a work permit. Then you have to just report every 3 months and prove that you're still in the country. And I had actually done that 90-day report online. You can do it through the official immigration website. However, I got an email today that said my 90-day report was rejected, and there was no explanation as to why. So I went to immigration here in Samui. It's only about a 25-minute drive from my house, taking the shortcut, and I basically just asked, what's the deal? Why wasn't my 90-day report approved? And it turns out all that I needed was a new TM30 form, which is essentially proof of residence, which you will get when you're renting a place or you own a house in Thailand. You'll get the TM30 form, which is what you need to show to immigration as a proof of residence. Got some lunch, got a really nice, some spring rolls and a mango smoothie close to the immigration office. And then they had sent over that TM30 form. It only took about 15 minutes. I went back, showed that to them, and then I was good to go within 20 minutes. So it's really pretty easy in terms of visa-related matters. If you're looking to live in Samui, you can pretty much do everything that you want to here, unless you need to go to an official government office, which is often located in Bangkok. So you can pretty easily just fly to Bangkok. It's only a 45-minute flight from Samui, and then get that taken care of, and just come right back to this beautiful island. So yeah, those are just a few of the things that I had to overcome getting my work permit. And I'm lucky to have, grateful I should say, to have another 90 days here in the Kingdom of Thailand. And hopefully, if I play my cards right, I'll get the full 18 months on the work permit. And I would love to hear stories from anybody else as well. Post a comment down below and just share what you've had to go through to stay over here in Thailand. Would love to hear your stories, and I'm also looking for more people to interview on my podcast. It's called Digital Nomad Ventures, same as this YouTube channel. And I usually do the interview on the YouTube channel, and then I also post it on Spotify as well. So if anybody wants to be interviewed and share their digital nomad stories on my YouTube channel and the podcast, would love to hear from you. You can also send me an email. There's my email's in the description below. And with that being said, take care, stay safe. Cheers from Thailand.